Hey guys, welcome back to the Pre-Op Performance Method YouTube channel. Today we got a mobility flow for you, kind of focused primarily around the downward dog position, a bunch of different variations on how to flow through that. I did record the video, but didn't have the microphone on, so I'm gonna voice over the whole thing. So here's just a little intro kind of explaining that. But simple, just follow along and it'll be a lot of fun. Check it out. So as mentioned previously, I did record this, but I forgot to turn the microphone on, so none of it recorded. But essentially, you're just going to be following along, mainly focused on downward dog positions, different variations of it, and kind of different flows that you can do. As you can see, we got the dog stretching with us right there as well. So we're going to start off in a downward dog position, just a passive stretch, and we're going to be holding it for 1 minute. So go ahead and get into that position now. We're trying to keep the knees relatively straight. The heels don't need to be on the ground. And trying to bring your head through your shoulders to get a nice little overhead shoulder stretch. You may also feel this in the hamstrings, calf, or even the back. That's okay. Just trying to relax into it, taking nice deep breaths. Trying to inhale for about 4 seconds, exhaling a little bit longer for 7 or 8 seconds, and really just relaxing down into the pose. Just going to keep on holding here. After the minute is up, we do have a few more seconds, but after the minute is up, we're going to start with pedaling our ankles, as I call it. We're going to do about 20 on each side, and all of this is straightening out one knee and bringing the heel to the ground as the other one kind of bends as shown here. This is more to work on your calf as well as a little just entire posterior chain action. We're going to be going for 20 on each side though. Go at your own pace, whatever feels good for you. And just really try to feel that stretch each time. If you feel like you're not getting as good out of the stretch, you can not bend the other knee as much as well, which will help to increase the stretch. Okay, so we're finishing up here. Next, we're going to be going into like a dragon push-up and then rolling back. So this is just a downward push-up from this position, nice and slow, holding in that extended prone press-up position, and then just kind of rolling back to the starting point. We're just going to do this 5 times here. So slowly on down, into the prone press-up, and just kind of rolling the spine back into the downward dog position. That's 3. If you want to make it a little more difficult, you can go up with the push-up and then reverse it back to the starting point as well. Last one here. And back to the downward dog position. The next thing we're going to be going into is the world's greatest stretch. So we'll bring the left foot up to the hand. You can bring the knee down if you'd like. You can also keep it up if you want more of a hip flexor stretch. You should be feeling the stretch in the hip there. We'll rotate the arm up and bring it back down. Once again, if you want to increase the stretch a little bit more, you can try to bring your elbow down to the ground when you go to touch the ground. We're just going to be doing 10 rotations on each side here, really focusing on opening up the chest and rotating that thoracic spine. Once we're done with 10, we'll go ahead and switch over to the other side, bringing the left foot up to the hands and bringing the right or the left foot back and the right foot up to the hand, as shown there. Once again, if you want a little bit more of a stretch, go ahead and bring that knee off the ground. And then this time we will show bringing the elbow down to the ground as well. That'll help increase that stretch, get a little bit more in the hip joint itself. Same thing, we'll be doing a total of 10 on this side, just working through it at your own pace. If you get ahead or behind, that's not a problem. Best thing is just to stick at your own pace, and do what feels right for you. So for this next part, we'll be going into a little bit of a shoulder strengthening and mobility exercise. You can do one arm or two, but we're going into a single arm downward dog if you're able to, and then back down. So we're just going to do 5 on each side here. This is working a lot on your shoulder stability, especially in that overhead position, and is one of my favorite, especially if you're going to be doing a warm up to an overhead lift. Once 5, we'll go ahead and switch over to the other side and do the same thing. Once again, if this is too difficult, you can use both arms and just go back and forth in a regular downward dog position. Next one we're going to be going into is our downward dog, but with hip cars, which are controlled articular rotations. Essentially, we'll be trying to take our hip through as wide a range of motion as possible, starting with flexing the hip up, bring it out to the side and back. Now, because of the position that we are in the downward dog position, the motion is going to be limited, so you're not going to be getting that much. So that's perfectly fine. The goal is just to try to make as big a circle as possible and get the hips moving a little bit. This should be relatively pain-free, so if you are having pain, you need to make sure that you're backing off a little bit in that range. So we'll do 5 on each side, and that's including both rotations forward and back is 1 for a total of 5. You can rest in between, and then we'll be going over to the right side next to do the same thing. So we'll go up, out to the side, and back, trying not to rotate in our spine at all. Almost done, guys. Just got a few more left after this, so stay with it. Okay, last one here. We'll continue on. So for this next one, we'll be in our downward dog position, and we're just going to be doing a crossover of the back leg behind the body. So what that's going to look like is we'll get into our downward dog position here. We're going to take our back leg. We'll start with our right. We're going to reach back and turn as far as we can. You should feel a stretch a little bit to the spine and a lot to the quads in the front of the leg. Holding that for about 5 seconds. We're just going to do that 3 times here. Getting just a little bit of that rotation in the spine, and then just a slow stretch to the hip flexors. Same thing on this left side now, really opening up. You can see here that the spine does rotate, which is perfectly fine. You may feel a stretch into your lats as well in this position, and on this side, especially on the left arm right there. Our third one right here. Perfect. Next, we're going to be doing the dolphin pose. Just 5 of these, and I like to really use these for overhead positionings, warming up, really getting the serratus anterior working. But this is a great one for that. So we'll start on our elbows here, and then you're almost in a plank position, shooting the butt up and just trying to bring your head all the way through. You may kind of touch your head to the ground, which is perfectly fine. But we're just doing 5 of those, going back as far as you can. After the 5, we're just going to be going into a 30-second downward dog pose to end it off. In this position, guys, since we're finally at the end, really want to be focusing on deep breathing through the diaphragm, really expanding the belly, and just trying to relax into that stretch. So guys, we're going to be finishing it off here. Once you guys are done, have a good rest of your day. Relax. Don't forget to subscribe and keep coming back for our videos to come. See you guys next time.